Introduction. Yeah, hello and hello again to some of you. I'm happy to see so many people here. Yeah, as already said, today's topic is field recording and how you can use it in your productions or whatever creative work you are doing. Why field recording? Because I think it's, first of all, a very nice thing next to just sitting in front of your laptop, to just go outside and record whatever you found nice or you think it's sounding interesting. But for me, for example, I always have these moments when I'm sitting in the studio and just try to get anything out of my computer or machines or whatever I'm working with, and I feel like, okay, I'm not inspired at all, or I don't get anything really useful out of the machines. It can be rather coming from like creative blockades. I think every creative person here and there have moments where you just don't feel creative, or you have like a little bit overthinking or whatever. And this is the moment when I like to go outside. First of all, you have a walk. That's also already nice. But second of all, you just like, you think so much out of the box and so much out of Ableton or whatever DAW you're using. And yeah, then I'm just trying to find some interesting sounds from whatever is around me. And you can do that, of course, with some like recorder like this. For example, I have the Zoom H2N with me all the time because it's very compact. It has like not too many crazy functions, so you can basically just go. You can turn it on and you can already record stuff. It's very self-explaining. There are some more crazy field recorder, which are definitely more for the advanced usage or something, but this one I really like because I'm also recording my sets in the club with it, but it has a really nice microphone, so I use it for that as well. But unfortunately, the only bad thing about it, it has only, wait one sec, it has only batteries in there. And as I'm a quite chaotic person, I'm always forgetting to buy new ones. And when this is happening and my batteries are empty, I'm coming back to this little fella here. This is something what actually nowadays everyone has with you all the time, wherever you go. Doesn't matter if it's a toilet or you go to eat something or whatever, you always have your phone with you. Nowadays, telephones actually has super amazing microphones in there. Like, for example, Apple always had super good quality from their internal microphones. And Apple also has an app which is called Voice Memos. I don't know if it's in English also voice memos, but in German it's Sprachmemos. Sounds very rough already. And it's also super self-explaining. It's like, I mean, you can't see shit from here, but you know, you open the app and then you just have this list of pre-recorded things with you. And then you have this little red button here. And yeah, then you just, you know, go around and start recording the stuff you like. The only bad thing about this is, for example, when it is like windy or very noisy around you, then you have, of course, everything also on the recording, you know. So the best recording always comes from, you know, a good calm surrounding.
What is the difference between your phone and like professional?
I mean, the difference is, first of all, the microphone quality. Of course, the quality of this microphone is much better because it's like a way bigger microphone, so it has a wider spectrum also inside. And
the noise also is recording.
with what?
The noise around it.
The noise around you is also recording, but here, for example, you have behind this metal cage already some. I don't know how to say it in English, but there's like some textile in there, which is already a little bit breaking the wind, for example. So you don't, like here, you don't have anything what breaks the wind sound, you know. So and here you have already a little bit, I don't know how to explain it properly in English, but it's, I mean, this is already made to record something, and this is more for, like, you know, the daily usage. It's not really thought about for being for musicians and you go out and record something for that. So this is like a little bit less quality for sure, but in the end of the day, it makes the job, you know. For example, even if you want to record vocals, like a few years ago, when I did a lot of tracks with vocals in there, I recorded even the vocals with the microphone from the iPhone, and you know, then you just afterwards work on the sound in Ableton, so that's totally fine in the end. I mean, it always comes from what do you want in the end of the day. For sure, I would not produce like a crazy pop song like Peggy Goo, for example. You know, I don't think that she records her vocals with the iPhone. I mean, who knows? Maybe she does, but I don't think so. The quality is too clear for that. But for my productions, it was always enough. So that's why I can say that if you can't afford, and if you don't know if you actually use field recordings in your productions, or if you like it, I think the telephone is definitely a good starting point for that. So yeah, so then I'm just walking around all the time, and when I hear something interesting, then I record it. It can be, I don't know, for example, I'm sitting in the train and I like the noise of the train, or what I also really like is when you are in the airport, because the airport has such a wide spectrum of different sounds around you. You have, for example, the voice from the speakers, which tells you like, okay, here this flight is coming. Then you have the sound of the people around you, and also the sound what the people makes without talking, you know. So, and if you sit there in the middle of everything, it's already such a nice texture you can use later in your productions. Yeah, for today's example and lecture, I already sent it a few recordings of mine, which I did in, I had a video shooting for some music projects of my label, and the location was like a huge warehouse where luckily a lot of old like tools and metal things were just flying around, and we only had 3 hours, but we lost already 1.5 hours because all of us were running around through the warehouse and recorded all this stuff. And I think what I want to show here today is that you can basically do every kind of sound you want from the recordings you do. You can make hi-hats, you can make a kick drum, you can even make kind of melodic stuff, you know. For sure, then you need also the sound which is fitting in there. Like, for example, if you want to do like a melodic element with the field recording, then you also need to record something which has kind of the body of taking it further to be a melody afterwards, you know. Like, I don't know, from something like this, I think it's really difficult to make a melody out of it. I mean, nowadays it's really possible, of course, with, for example, Ableton has the corpus inside, which is really amazing. But yeah, you need to think about, okay, what I want. Do I want percussion sounds or melodic sounds? And then you try to find the right like object for that. So I'm gonna show you what recordings I took from this warehouse experience there. And as I said, it's like a lot of metal sounds, a lot of scratchings and whatsoever. The nice thing also about this particular location was that as it was like a super huge warehouse, it also had already a natural reverb around, you know? So basically, you don't even need to put a reverb from Ableton on that afterwards. I mean, for sure, if you want to change the structure of the sound, you can do that, but in general, the sound has already such a great characteristic, which takes a lot of work away from you, kind of, so you can be more creative in the end. Then we have here like a recording from the summertime in Berlin, right? And as you can hear the birds and some kids playing in the background. And what I like about this kind of recordings is that it's like when you spend time in the park, it's not meant to be an instrument. So you just have this moment of rather relaxing, or I don't know, you're reading a book or you're just enjoying a little bit the sun or whatever. But if you record that and you transform it into like a sort of instrument in Ableton, you already bring such a characteristic vibe to your productions, which is, I think, the most nicest thing about field recordings, that you, for example, if you use a synthesizer and you want to create a vibe and a certain characteristic, you have to work on the melody, you have to work on the shape of the sound. But if you use a field recording, a lot of things are already there. So you're like, it is very, it's very easy to get new ideas of this kind of sounds, you know. For example, if you use that, let's throw that in here. If you use the sound of this recording in the park, you can think about like, okay, it has already the sounds of the birds, and you have the sound of some people in the background, like most likely the playground with the kids, and the kids has this like very nice happy voice, and it brings already this vibe what I just talked about to the project you start. So you think like, okay, maybe you want to have this already as the foundation or like the basic vibe of your track, or you can also transform it into like a texture or like an ambience for the back. And if I want to change the sound or the characteristic of this field recording, I would most likely loop a part of this recording. And then also take away already the lower frequencies, because this is something what you definitely need to take care of in field recordings. Like you have to check always the spectrum of the sound, because when you record something with a microphone, it has already everything in there. So it's like you can even transform the sound into just like a bass line, because it has actually a lot of low frequencies going on. And if you push it afterwards, then you have already some like low frequency movement in there as well. But I don't want to have a bass line out of it. I want to create like, I think maybe like ambience, like maybe kind of a pad sound, which always just loops in the project. So I cut off the low frequencies now. Like, and the difference is crazy. If you like, now I cut it off the low frequencies, but if I bring them back, you can hear how much actually goes on in the low frequencies there. Like, it's crazy, but yeah, we don't need that for now. And now I would just destroy this park vibe and bring it into this pad sound I want to have. For that, I would first use the Timeless 3 from FabFilter. I showed you this one on Monday already. It's definitely one of my favorite like FX plugins, because it's also perfect for sound designing. You have so much different kinds of parameter you can change. You can change the pitch, you can change the dynamics, and you can use the delay only on some certain frequencies. So I can just recommend you to get this one. Then I use my favorite preset for this, which is the bouncing echoes, and would just try to check out how it sounds when I change here the parameters. For example, now I'm doing a full mix, so I have only the sound from the plugin, and as you hear, so there's like a filter movement already going on, which in combination with the delay change the whole vibe of the original sound. Like, you still can hear the birds and you still can hear a little bit the voices, but the voices are already starting to transform into more like a stretched version of itself, so it transforms into kind of like a pad sound kinda. So let's try to get this a little bit more different even. Okay. I think I would cut off even more frequencies after the Timeless 3, so you can work on the frequencies which are there after the usage of the FX plugin. And I don't like the mid frequencies here too much, so much. It's a little bit already too much going on here. Like, it sounds like a wind sound even. So I don't like them. I just want to have I only want to have the high frequencies, like especially the sound of the children and the bird sounds. But for me, it still sounds too much like the original, and to transform it more into like a pad sound, I would put now a reverb plugin on it, which is also from FabFilter. It's the Pro R, which has for me like a very, very high quality reverb sound. Maybe a little bit less in the mix. Yeah, something like that. And then I use the utility from Ableton just to make it a little bit louder again. So, and with using the utility and not the for example here the clip volume, I have in the end a better control already for my mix down. But this is just my own workflow. So that's why I use always the utility in the end to bring it a little bit to the peak. I think that's good for now. But maybe now I'm missing a little bit of like melodic characteristic of the sound. So I would just try to give it a little bit more harmony again. And for that, I like to use the corpus of Ableton, which is a fantastic plugin. And corpus basically brings the sound into like another kind of body shape. For example, here we have the marimba body shape, and what it does, I will show you. So as you can hear, now it's more sounding like a bell. And then you can even change the tune of it. Yeah, this is a 100% red, but I still want to keep a little bit from the original sounds because it has a nice structure for me. So that's why I'm maybe using only like 60 or 55% of the mix of the plugin to keep like to have the middle between the corpus sound and also still have a little bit of the field recording. And now you have this kind of bell pad sound. I mean, you can also check out some different options. For example, the pipe. But I think that's a little bit too aggressive for this now. Okay, plate is not doing anything. So I stick with the marimba because it has like this nice bell pad effect. All right, then let's go back to our field recordings folder. So now I already have a little basic idea. Maybe now I would check if I can do some kind of drum sound for the track we are doing. So I'm gonna check which field recording is actually giving me some sounds which I can transform into like a kick sound. So I'm looking for something with a lot of low frequencies, but also a little bit mid frequencies. To have already a nice punch in there. So let's go in here and see what we have. So this is nice. So I'm throwing it in, and then I'm trying to find the same position like we checked it in the folder. Let's see. No, where is it?
Wow, comes the tricks.
Okay. Fine. Okay, I think it was here somewhere. Okay. That's actually nice. That's also a nice thing of this field recording process is when you are at the location you're recording and you just, I don't know, you let the kid out of you and just play around like crazy, you know? I mean, back when I was a little child, I was always going to the forest with like some sticks in my hand and like hitting everything what was there. And if you do the same, you have this happy accidents, not happy accidents, it's just like, you know, when you put it into Ableton, you get surprised by already a proper percussion loop without like thinking about it as a percussion loop in the beginning. So that's also what I really like, because it's, I don't know, it just brings so much inspiration and so much, just creative flow to the studio. So let's try to make this sounding even a little bit better. Let's see. Okay. Just checking also with my Ableton clock if it's tight. Perfect, nice. So not too much warping as well. So like this already you have such a great idea of where the track can maybe go in the end. Let's see how it sounds with our pad sound. And yeah, I mean, it has already so much going on here, this little percussion loop. And I'm thinking about, because it's still not really a kick, so I'm trying to just copy it and see, because this first little transient here is quite loud. And for me, maybe it has already enough to build a kick out of it. So I'm cropping it, and okay, let's see where it starts here. I'm cropping it, and then also I'm changing the one to the start of the transient. Oh, wait. Okay, let's try. I don't know if it will work out, but we can try it out. So then I'm putting the Ableton Simpler and throw the sample in there. And then when you go to the piano roll here, I'm putting the steps into C3 because this is the ground note of the original sample. I mean, you can also pitch it up and down in the end if you want, but let's see how it sounds like this. Yeah, et voilà, industrial techno. Okay, but this is still a little bit far from a kick. So now I would throw just equalizer first of all to cut off some frequencies which I don't like, which is most likely most of the higher ones. And then maybe I would try to pitch it down. Yeah, that sounds already a little bit closer to a kick. Okay, maybe a little bit less release, because as you can hear, there is a little like a higher, it sounds like coins you throw on the floor. Right. And I don't want that, so I'm shortening the loop. Yeah, all right. Okay, so then let's see. Let's try to bring it to like a proper kick sound. Maybe I would push a little bit already the low frequencies here to see what is happening. Oh, there's already some low frequencies actually in there, which is nice. Then I would put another one of my favorites from Ableton. Thank you, Ableton, for making the best plugins. No, it's not paid advertisement. I take the drum bass, because drum bass is such an amazing like distortion, saturator, magic effect plugin for not only percussion sounds. You can also just put it on like bass lines to make it more sharp and crispy. And yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't really make sense on pad sounds and like softer melodic stuff, but for bass lines and for maybe lead melodies or something like that, like everything what has some transients, then drum bass is definitely amazing for that. And yeah, I'm putting now drum bass here on our kick sound to just load it up a little bit. But I think afterwards I will also reduce it again. And it's like, you know, for sound designing, it's always going forward and backwards all the time, because yeah, you just try to shape the sound until you think, okay, now this is what I want to have. So let's see, maybe we can bring a little bit more body and a little bit less industrial vibe to this kick. Okay, that's nice. So now I just, I reduced a little bit the transients here. Why I did that? I mean, I want to have some other transients afterwards, but I think I will do that maybe with layering the kick with another sound. So I'm gonna have the high frequency stuff from more like a mid-range percussion sound. But here I just don't like the high frequencies, because you still hear that it comes from like a from this metal sound, and I don't know, it's just, I don't want to have an industrial techno kick. I just want to have a kick sound, so I'm focusing more on the like lower mid frequencies to the low frequencies, and then everything what I want to add for the higher mid frequencies and the high frequencies I will do afterwards with layering. So now I reduce the transients of the kick sound and actually put a lot of drive to it. Like you see, the drive is now 49%. Usually when I use, for example, the 909 core kit, I put the drum bass on it, but use maybe, I don't know, maybe 15% of the drive, and then even reducing the dry and wet a little bit more. But now we want to try to shape a sound which is not meant to be a kick into a kick sound. So for sure we need a little bit more. We need the drum bass to be a little bit more aggressive in the beginning. Not so bad already, but still it sounds too much like I'm hitting an old oil container or like a ship or something. So I try to take out some more frequencies after the drum bass. Yeah, this is here exactly in the mid frequencies. You can hear this kind of like metallic sound still. Like when I push it up, you can hear it extremely. But I don't want that sound, so I'm taking it drastically out. All right. Maybe reducing a little bit of the high frequencies to give more space for our layer afterwards. But also I would cut off a little bit the low frequencies which you anyway can't hear and which just will make your mix in the end muddy. Okay. This is like a good bass for now. Also always never forget to quick check with the sounds you previously did, because I have sometimes the moments when I'm just focusing on one sound for hours and then I'm turning on everything else again and it's not working with each other at all. So yeah, never forget to cross-check with all elements. Okay, wait, we take out this now. Okay, that works. I mean, it's gonna be industrial techno, even though I didn't want that, but you know, sometimes that happens. But still, what I don't like about this percussion loop here is also this kind of coin sound. That would make me crazy, because if you have this sound for like 5 minutes, then later in your arrangement, I think like, oh my God, please let somebody give the guy back his coins, yeah. But I think I would try to cut them out a little bit with. There's this warping option called beats, which you see here. Right, yeah. Can you see the mouse? Yeah, here. Here you have some different warping options, and for like percussion sounds, I would always recommend to take the beats warping, because it's just better for the structure. But for example, for vocal sounds, I would always go for complex. But nevertheless, beats for now, and then you can change here the direction or the flow of the warp, and I will take the first one because now I'm actually able to reduce the decay or the release of the sample. I will do it extremely, so you know what I mean. So this is the extreme version of it, 0, and now when I bring it up, you can hear that the sample or the loop gets longer again. Yeah. But I think I would keep it really, really short, like 25, maybe, let's see. There's still some coins in there, but it's already better. And then maybe the rest I would do with the EQ 8. Let's see, but for this we have to see where this coin sits. Ah yeah, okay, now we found the coin. And I will just take it out completely. Nice, okay, that's already better. Let's open the band a little bit. Still not enough, so I'm putting another EQ8 afterwards. Yeah, okay, here we go. So no coins anymore. And now check it with the kick sound again. And of course with our texture, pad, ambience, however you want to call it. Yeah, that's already nice. I think I would put another reverb after the corpus of the pad to bring the sound a little bit to the background and make it also wider. Let's see. Here's the Pro R, and put it after the corpus. Maybe not 100% in the mix, maybe like 80. I think it's fine. Let's see. And now there are some like very high frequencies of the pad sound, which I also would cut out a little bit because it's just like, I mean, first of all, I don't want to have them in the track, but also second of all, when you have the mix later and you listen to this track loud in the club, these frequencies will really fuck up your ears, yeah? It's also very, like, I think it's a responsibility, kind of, when you are a musician or producer, that you need to take out the frequencies which are really dangerous for your ears, because otherwise, if something happens in the club when your track is played, then, I mean, it's really not a nice feeling, you know, if you know that, oh my God, I made some people deaf, you know, so, I mean, that's really not so nice. So I'm taking out the, and also, you know, like, I mean, everybody wants that, you like, if you make a track and your track is played in the club, you also want to have a nice experience out of it. Yeah, you want to stay there and gonna be like, oh my God, yeah, this is my track, and not like, oh my God, that's my track. And that's why I really take care of this ugly frequencies. Let's see, I'm gonna try to be quick with that. Yeah, as you can hear, there's some resonances which are extremely ugly just. That's also a point from using field recording sounds, you know, it's like, especially with metal sounds, you have a lot of really, really bad resonances in there. So don't forget that. And this is how I find this bad resonances is just, you know, you take a band of your equalizer and then you make it really sharp, put it to the maximum up, and then you just go through all the spectrum, and then you hear the moment you find a resonance which should be taken out, it will extremely pop up. So I will try to show you that. Yeah, here you can feel that it starts really to whistle, kind of. Yeah. So I would take that out for sure. Oh no, now I made it. Yeah. Okay. But still there's one which is kind of aggressive. Let's try to find it. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Let's not get lost too much in finding the bad frequencies. So I will keep it like this now and go on with the track. Okay. I think now I would try to make a little bass line. And how I do that is, the same way how you use, how you go on with every kind of sound you need for the track. So you just check your recordings, and then if you find a sound which you think, okay, this has already maybe some basic characteristics of the sound you want to have, then you just go with this one. So let's dive into the recordings again. Oh. There's something nice here. Let's see. It's more like a, I don't know what it is, like my voice or someone else's voice. Let's see. This one, I mean. It has like, I don't know, it has some super low frequency, but also it has this voice in the back. Interesting. So maybe I will try to make this like a one shot and then put it into a simpler and make a bass line out of it. Let's see. Okay. So now I take the simpler again and throw this one in there. And then I have it's a step sequencer plugin, which is for free when you when you have the bought version of Ableton. I know not everyone can afford it in the beginning, but if you have the bought version of Ableton, you can use Max for Live. And Max for Live is such a amazing universe of basically free plugins from people who has such a big passion of doing their own kind of little VST plugins at home. And there's one website which is also called Max for Live. And there you can find some super nice free stuff from synthesizers to reverb plugins to delays to step sequencer. And two of my favorite step sequencer are the MDD Snake. I show you this one first. Okay, here we go. And now you see here on the left side there's the MDD Snake. Basically it's a 16 step sequencer. And but it is super complex because you can change the whole running order, how the steps are played and when which step is played, and then you can also say that, okay, every fourth step of this step is gonna be this tone, and then in the next one it's gonna be another tone, so it's really complex. So I can definitely recommend you to get this one, MDD Snake version 3, but I think it's a little bit too complex for now, so that's why I would go for the more easier step sequencer, which is the ML185, and it's an emulation of a hardware step sequencer. And I know that a lot of artists are like using this one and having one of the most successful tracks made with this one, because you just throw it in, you press random, and then you already have like some sort of idea where you can go. So let's try how it sounds. I hope not too bad. Okay. Let's make it louder. Okay. I don't know if it's really possible to make a bass line out of the sound I picked, but I don't know. Let's try just. So I would first, of course, take away some of the frequencies, which are the higher ones, because we don't need them in a bass line. Cut off a little bit the low frequencies as well. Okay, that has already a little characteristic of a bass line. Let's check how it sounds with our kick sound. Not so bad, but also not so good. Let's try to make it, because now it has just like with the kick is so stompy, you don't really feel the effect of the bass line. So I'm trying to like make the bass line a little bit less low frequency style and bring a little bit more mid frequencies, but also try to keep it in the characteristic of a bass line. Let's see how we're gonna do it. Yeah, I think that's good for now, but still I want to change a little bit the characteristic of it, to maybe bring some kind of, I don't know, noise, distortion or something like that to it. And for that I love to take the erosion from Ableton. With erosion you basically put like is rather a sine wave on top, or you can also put some white noise or noise effect on it. Let's try the noise for now. And as you can hear, oh wait. As you can hear now, you have some like some higher frequencies inside of the bass line, which supports to understand, I mean, at least in my brain, the rhythm of the bass line. Yeah, I can turn it off to show you the difference. This is without, and this is with. I don't know, for me it's just more easy to understand, okay, how actually is the bass line running now, because it has more transients kind of in there, but more subtle than just having some like step sound or whatever going on there. And now I will check how it sounds with the kick and with the percussion sound. Maybe I would make this percussion sound here also a little bit more more interesting, and would use the corpus as well. I can tell you, corpus is such an amazing tool, and also a nice tool to really spend hours in the studio to try to understand how it's actually working. But now I really just want to have like a subtle change of the characteristic of the track. Wait, now I see you drink something, and I feel like I also want to drink something. My mouth is so dry already from the talking, but okay. That must sound amazing on the live stream now. Okay, yeah, so now I just want to have like a subtle change of the characteristic of my percussion sound, maybe to make, because when I listen this now, it really reminds me somehow to some of the old, you all know Blavan? Blavan, the artist? Yeah? Hands up, who knows Blavan? Okay, 4, 5, yeah. So Blavan is, I think, one of the craziest artists out there, and this percussion reminds me a little bit about him. And there's one kind of trick with this corpus effect. You can even more come closer to the sound of this typical Blavan things. I will show you. I mean, I try to show you. Right. If you know what I mean, yeah, he has this kind of FM sounds in his tracks always in, and I remember when a friend of mine showed me that effect the first time we were sitting in the studio, it was like, oh my God, this is how Blavan is doing his tracks, and we were just, you know, go crazy. with that. So I think I want to have this effect a little bit subtle on it, because it also changed again the characteristic, and it also brings you it just makes it more unique for me. And then, for example, now you could play with the decay of the thing. Like this is a short decay, and you could put an LFO here and make like a super, super slow rate, and then map it to the decay of the corpus sound. And like that, wait, we need to find a little bit the right position of it, not too much. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to make it a little shorter. Yeah, I think that's fine for now. Maybe a little bit less even. Okay, and now you have some movement inside of your percussion sound, so it already makes the whole track a little bit more interesting, because you don't have the static movement. You have already some things happening there, and yeah, this is how it sounds with the LFO then now. Like, as you can hear now, this percussion sound from the corpus, it's like opening up and closing again, and yeah, it just makes it more interesting again. And all together with the bass line and everything what we have now, it sounds like this. Now I think it's time to get some... do you guys actually want a smoking break or something? Because I know sitting here and listening to... Because I have fun with doing all that, but if you want, we can maybe like have like a 5 minutes smoking break. Is it okay? Yeah? Do you want that? Nice. Okay, let's have a smoking break. Дякую. Okay. All right. Now, what I would do next, or let's say what is missing, what we can add here for this lecture, because I don't know like how much time we have and how big is your concentration range still, but let's try to do like, I don't know, maybe another hour if you're fine with that. So, oh. Okay. So now I think what I would add is a hi-hat to keep the groove, to bring the groove to the next level, and yeah, same procedure. I would go into the library and check what can be a hi-hat sound. But first, let's listen to the loop again. Okay, so let's try to find a hi-hat sound. Yes, that could already be the hi-hat. I'm gonna shorten the loop again, make it solo, and lower the volume. Okay. Yeah. That sounds already like a hi-hat. Cool. Let's see. All right. And for this now, I would put not the simpler, but the drum rack. Why the drum rack? Because then I'm actually able to already layer, if I want, a few sounds to make it my hi-hat track without having, I don't know, multiple tracks in the project. So I'm throwing the loop we cut out of the field recording into the drum rack and set the piano roll. And let's see. Yeah, that's already okay. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, but for the hi-hat, we of course don't need the low frequencies, so I'm cutting them off with my Beloft EQ8. I take the extreme cut because I really don't need any of the low frequencies in here. Okay, let's see with the kick together. Okay, maybe a little bit too long still. Nice, it's already very close to like a proper hi-hat. I like my hi-hats always very crisp and aggressive, because I'm definitely the kind of person who is in the club on the dance floor, and when the DJ plays the track and then the hi-hat comes in, I'm the one who goes crazy and be like, wow, this hi-hat is crazy. So I'm always focusing a lot on the hi-hats. How can I make them a little bit sharper? I'm using the amp from Ableton as well. Another really crazy plugin, but you also have to be very, very, very careful with this one because it's very aggressive. I show you. As you can hear now, it's very, very crisp and very, very high frequency loaded. So I'm using the internal equalizer of the amp and take down a little bit of the high frequencies to make it a little bit less sharp. Yeah, like this is nice. But I still miss some like characteristic of it, and for a nice hi-hat characteristic you can use the vocoder of Ableton. And the vocoder on hi-hats, it's like, I don't know how to explain it properly, but just listen maybe what it does to it. So it kind of opens up the sound, and a nice feature of this, of using a vocoder on hi-hats is also that you have a possibility of using the release of it to bring more movement in there. I can show you how I would do that. Also with the LFO maybe. For now, I mean later on in the arrangement, I would maybe record it with a MIDI controller. Like I would just listen through the whole arrangement and then MIDI map the release of the vocoder to one of my buttons, and then just would record it how I would like it for the track. But for now, because I don't think that we're gonna do arrangement here today. So I will do it just with the LFO to show you a little example of it. So LFO in here, and then map it to the release and make it also slow. But I don't want to have it to go to 0. So I'm changing the starting point from where the LFO affects the release, and then also I don't want to have it fully open, so I'm just playing around a little bit. Oh, now I took it away. Until it sounds how I want to have it. And now you can hear that the hi-hat is like opening and closing, and with this you can make like you can bring so much movement to the track, and makes the hi-hat already a little bit more interesting. And all together now it sounds like. So yeah, as you can hear in the whole loop, it's already like it's already more life in there. It's not just static and you just play the loop how it is. It's like we have the opening of our percussion sound with the corpus, which brings some movement in there, and then also we have the movement of the hi-hat, which is nice. And to stay in the percussion section, I would now check for something which is like taking part maybe as a snare or clap sound maybe, or maybe just like a percussion which I will put maybe basically just to 2 and 4. And again, we'll check our library for that. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, perfect. So I take this one and again try to find the moment we just had in the preview. And then crop the sample, and now you can see already like perfect transients. You just need to cut out from like the moment you want to have. Okay, I think I stay with the first one. And then setting the start point to when the transient is hitting the first time. Oh. And set the 1 to here. All right, then put another drum rack in there. Also clean up a little bit the project. And then set it to 2 and 4. And then we will change the sound a little bit. I think I would, first definitely equalizer to take out what we don't need anymore here. Yeah, I think like this. I would also check out how it sounds with a lower transpose and set it to -8. And I think I would put a little reverb on the snare to bring it a little bit to the background, and also add some ambience to the sound. So just very, very subtle in the mix and very short decay to just give it a little room. Okay, and then maybe bring some new frequencies to it with the erosion. Just some subtle higher frequencies to make it a little bit more open. And then also another EQ8 in the end of the chain to be sure that there's no low frequencies taking away the place for the bass line. So. And then you can maybe play a little bit with the piano roll to make it a little bit more dynamic and changing. I would just, I think, put some extra hits in here and take down the velocity of it to not have the full step hitting in there, but just to, I don't know, bring some maybe interesting changes to the snare sound. So it would be like this. Okay, maybe let's see how it sounds in the full loop. So it's like you barely hear them in the full mix, but still it brings some subtle changes which will be in the full track in the end, like a very, very big difference. All right, then what is definitely missing is some sort of like a melody sound, I would say. And for that, I would take like a bell sound from our recordings here, and then try to bring it into like a melody or some melodic kind of steps, which will just support our already existing loop. Let's see. I just want to listen it quickly to better understand maybe what I want to look for. Yeah, some sort of like bell sound which we can transform into a nice melody. I mean, a melody is not really fitting to the loop, but just some melodic kind of elements. Let's see. Yeah, this can work. I think I take the first one because the other ones are a little bit too sounding too much like percussion. And I think I want to try to make this into some melodic stuff. Yeah. For that I take the simpler again, because the simpler also allows me already to play the sound in different pitched notes. Wait, where's the simpler? Okay. Then throw the sound in, and then just play a little bit around. Wait, let's listen. Okay, I think I would put it a little bit higher. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, you see, it sounds not so good. All right, that can work. I think I would take the corpus again to give it a little bit more body, and take away a little bit the the metal hit characteristic of it. Corpus. Okay. And then maybe some delay. Let's try the grain delay. Is also always a super nice plugin to sound design around. Sound design around, okay. But to just like bring the sound into a completely different shape. I don't like this. Yeah, that's already something interesting. But I still want to shape the sound a little bit more, so I will maybe I would use another corpus for now to change it a little bit back to what it was before, but also not. Okay, maybe I would put also a little bit reverb on it to make it just sounding bigger, because I like that it is like, it's still like a bell sound, and it sounds very kind of, I don't know, creepy a little bit, whatever, but also very weird. But I want to make it sound a little bit bigger, and the reverb is the perfect tool to make to bring this effect. And what I like about this now is I think I would not even cut off the low frequencies of this, because as you can hear, it brings some low frequencies which will be in combination with our bass line, bring some weird variants. Like, for example, if you do the arrangement then, and the arrangement will be from the beginning with our basic bass line, but then this element comes to it, it brings like a crazy change, and then on the dance floor people are like, wow, crazy, I didn't expect that, and whatever. So I would actually keep that. Super nice. Super nice. And then with the bass line together, it's like, oh, that's not the bass line. I think also I would use a little bit extra FX on a return, in a send and return track in Ableton. Why send and return and not on the sound itself? Just because it's kind of like using the effect in a parallel way, so it will not interact or change too much the original sound, but it will just add the effect, like kind of from the back. So I just gonna show you how to do it, because sometimes my English is not well enough to describe what I want to do actually, but I will just show you. I think I take for this maybe the filter delay, and then see. But here I want to take away definitely the low frequencies of it, because I want to have the low frequency hits only from our original track. So now I cutted them off, and that's how it sounds. Maybe I would also add here a reverb to make it more lush. And now you can just check how it sounds with the original, and then you understand that it's just like, it's not changing the original sound, but it just brings like an extra effect, so another sound design element to the whole track. Without it sounds like this, and with it sounds like this. Okay, what I also want to have is a little vocal sound, because I remember here was some parts which are with some voices. Find where. Okay.
Matrix. Wow, welcome to the Matrix.
Okay, let's use this one. Welcome to the Matrix. All right. Why ever I said this, but okay. Sorry.
Wow, welcome to the Matrix.
Okay, that sounds for sure shitty now, but we will bring it there. Just cutting the loop.
Wow, welcome to the...
Why it is so fast? Wait.
Wow, welcome to the Matrix.
What the fuck?
Wow. Wow, look at the metrics.
It's super weird, I don't know.
Wow, look at the metrics.
What the fuck? Why it's also not changing to 125 BPM? I want this 125 BPM.
Wow, look at the metrics.
Okay, one sec. I think maybe that's why.
Wow, look at the metrics.
Okay, that doesn't really get better. Okay, then no vocal for now. Or yeah, but the thing is, yeah, okay. I mean, I can try it with that. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Right. Okay. And then warp off.
Wow, welcome to the metrics.
But now, okay, wait. I maybe just use then the simpler crop sample.
Welcome to the metrics. Metrics.
Okay.
Metrics. Metrics.
Okay. That's the most ridiculous vocal I ever heard for a techno track. But I don't give a fuck.
Metrics.
Okay, yeah, then let's use the simpler. And of course, to make it sound really techno, we have to pitch it down. Right. Okay. That's maybe a little bit too much.
Metrics. Metrics.
Okay, let's see.
Metrics.
What the fuck?
Metrics.
Okay, that's also for sure too much.
Metrics.
So cliche. Matrix. Put it a little bit later.
Metrics.
Okay, that's still too much. So I will longer the loop and
Metrics.
yeah, but now it sounds really cheap and yeah, it sounds like it sounds. But I want to change it a little bit, so I put some reverb, some EQ8.
Metrics.
What is also a nice effect is in the simpler you could also use the sound polyphonic kind of, so it means that you can play the tone of the sound in multiple different pitches on the same time. And what I can try is to make it sound a little bit better. I don't know. Let's see.
Metrics.
Yeah, okay.
Metrics.
Okay, a bit higher for sure.
Metrics. Metrics. Metrics.
Okay, it takes a little bit away the like two pitch down effect. But I will try to change it a little bit more and use the timeless for that. And take, I think, bouncing echoes maybe. Why it's not playing? Hello? Oh yeah, okay.
metrics, metrics, metrics,
It sounds already a little bit better. And I think I would try to change also the body of the voice with the corpus. Guys, I can't tell you more often, the corpus just is pure magic. So if you want to sound design, I think that's the way to go.
metrics, metrics, metrics,
Okay, that's a little bit too much, but now we come closer to make the sound, to make the voice sounding like a robot voice, which I think it's better which I think it's nicer than just the pitch down version of it, because this is like Hello Minimal from 2005 is back. And then also take out some resonances which are like too flying around and distorting it. And then take the erosion again to bring some higher frequencies again. Okay, cool. I mean, still better than the starting point. And then I take off the low frequencies which come to the sound after the erosion, because the erosion definitely adds a lot of frequencies again to it. Because we also use now the sine function of the erosion, which brings like a sine wave on top of the sound. And yeah, that's why I'm taking down the low frequencies again to have really just the vocal, like the robot voice kind of sound. Let's keep it for now like this, and then all together it's like this now. I still don't like the vocal, so but maybe I got you a little bit of an insight how you can change a vocal. And yeah, I think that would be the moment where I would definitely go over to the arrangement part of it. Too much vocal? Yeah, okay. And yeah, I mean, let's go through all the sounds just quickly, and then I think we have it for today. And yeah, maybe then we can do like a little question answer if you have some questions. But so we have our first track was you remember maybe this sound from the park with the birds and the kids playing in the background, and like this kind of summer vibe from Berlin. And we brought it into like this bell pet sound, which has like a complete different characteristic now. Then we have the metal hits, which were already like like a percussion loop from the recording itself. Like, I mean, when you go into the track, you see we didn't change it much. Yeah, we put the corpus on it to change the characteristic, but the rhythm itself came already from our field recording. Yeah, super interesting. With already some movement from the LFO. Then we have the kick. Actually, I really like the kick in the end. It's like, I don't know, it's not really in the front and it's not super present, but in the whole mix, it brings like this very stumpy, cold vibe to the track. Then we have our bass line. Yeah, also nice. We just took a recording, we just took a part from a recording, took away all the high frequencies because we just need the low end. Then I changed the characteristic of the bass line with the erosion, but just the higher frequencies, just to understand how the rhythm of the bass line is. Yeah, to show again, this is without erosion, and this is with. Then we have our hi-hat. I mean, hi-hat is nothing too crazy to explain again. It's just a short cut out of the field recording, and then I just boosted it with the amp, and with the vocoder I opened the boosting a little bit. And also it brings me more possibilities of bringing movement again to the single element. Yeah, right. So it's like the vocoder opens up and shortens again. Then we have our snare sound. Yeah, also nothing what needs much explanation, just a rhythmical element. And then we have our melody, or however you want to call it, also transformed with the corpus, and then even more transformed it with the grain delay, and the grain delay also brought forward the whole movement of our melody. Then we again added the corpus to bring a little bit back the original kind of bell sound to it, but also just quite subtle, and some reverb to make it more to sound more bigger, and then the send and return to just add another layer of FX and movement to the whole loop. And then in the end altogether it sounds like this now. And this is where then I would start to make the arrangement, and maybe then, you know, in the arrangement you will also see if you need to add something or like you want to take out something again. But yeah, this is how you can do a track with actually nothing more than just Ableton and your microphone from the phone or the field recorder. Yeah, I hope it was nice for you. Thank you very much for joining. Thanks. If you have now some questions, don't hesitate.
Okay, I have two.
Two, okay.
How long the track could be built from this, what we have now?
What do you mean, like the arrangement?
Yeah.
You mean how long the arrangement is in the end, or how long how much time I need to build the arrangement.
No. How long the track would be in arrangement view in the result from this blocks we have?
I don't know. Maybe I think I would not make it longer than like 5 minutes. The track itself, and then the arrangement. How much time it takes me to finish that? It's always hard to say because it always depends on my daily mood. Sometimes I can finish an arrangement in like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, because I told you on Monday that I always record with my MIDI controller, and then maybe I do like, 4, 5, 6 recordings, but in really bad days, it can be also like 20, 30 recordings, and then in the end you hate the track and you don't ever want to listen it again, but yeah, it always depends. But I think I would not make the track longer than 5 minutes, because you don't have much elements, and I think the elements we have here now, I think you can say everything in 5, 6 minutes, I would say. Yeah.
And the next question is, does your process of creation mostly looks like you build a complex view like this and then decompose it into different blocks? Does the process is mostly like this, or you just?
It also actually always changed because I had a very long period where I just started to make tracks. I started with a kick and some other percussion elements, and then afterwards I added the bass line and the melody and stuff like that. But since I'm also more I'm doing way more than just techno, it always changed. Sometimes I'm starting with just a noise, sometimes I'm starting with a vocal or the bass line, and then also sometimes you understand, okay, the track is not needed to have a kick or something. So you keep it as an ambient track, but it's always changing. And I think, for some people it's really important to have the same producing and studio structure all the time. They go into studio and have always the same procedure, but this is not how my brain works, because I have ADHD, and it's I'm focusing on everything. And I'm super bad with structure, so that's why it's always changing, and that's why I also don't have a starting template with Ableton. Ableton, when I started, it always looks like I just installed Ableton. So, and then from there I take it, and I don't know. It's for me, it's the way how I like to have it, because it always also gives me the opportunity that really every track sounds different. For me, which is, for some people they like it to have a specific signature sound and specific structures, which in every work is kind of the same. But I just don't like this. I want to get surprised, and this is the best way to do it, to just start from zero.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Which effects or plugins would you recommend for vocal processing?
For what?
Vocal processing.
In which way to process them? You just want to make them sitting more tight in the mix?
Also this, but also to make it sound more interesting.
Once again, the Timeless 3 from FabFilter. In general, the whole FabFilter collection is very, very, very nice. It has a lot of sound design tools, but then as well to shape the sound of it. Grain delay, yeah, you can use it on vocals, you can use it on everything, basically. But yeah, to make it sit more in the mix, I don't go too crazy with that. I'm also more, for me, it's more a term of leveling all the sounds, like concentrating on the volume of each single track in your track, in your project, instead of using too much compression and using too much I mean, for sure, some drastic equalizing, like taking the low frequencies or taking the high frequencies, definitely. But I think, like the way how I work is most likely just finding the right mix down in the end of the elements, because this is how you bring the elements sitting right everywhere. And with compressing, I mean, compressing already says it, you know, you compress the element, and then you have already less dynamic in there. So I think it's nicer to really use only compression if you really, really need it, and the rest you can do with some, leveling and stuff like that. But for sound designing, I think, just check out the FabFilter series. That's, for me, I'm working with them since many years already, and so far I didn't explore something nicer.
Do you use vocoders?
Yeah, only the Ableton one, actually. Yeah, only Ableton vocoder. Like, but I also don't use them too much, because I don't know. I never got really into the I didn't like the sound of voice through vocoder. It's like, for me, there are some amazing tracks written in this way with vocals, but for example from Anthony Rother, if you know him, Anthony Rother, he's using a lot the vocoder, and he's doing it in a good way, but I just, when I do it, I feel like, okay, now I'm becoming the next cheesy deep house producer or whatever, so I don't like it just that, but that's why only Ableton vocoder.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
We have a question.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
First of all, thank you for this inspiring session.
Thank you.
I have 2 questions to you.
Yeah.
And the first one, what's the intention behind all of these samples that you've made? Did you think that you're going to use them like during this session? Were they made intentionally? I mean, how did you make them? Like, what for?
Yeah, the thing is, there was no intention at all, you know. It just was like, that's why I explained the moment when we recorded it. It was actually a day where we had a video shooting for like a track which is gonna be released on my label from another artist, so not even me. And then we arrived in this location, and it was just like a huge playground, you know. I mean, for me, I don't know how it is for you, but when I'm going into this kind of industrial fabric buildings which are abandoned and stuff like that, I don't know, I feel like I'm a little kid again, and I'm just running around, and I want to hear everything and make noise with everything. And luckily there were so many instruments just flying around there. There were some, I don't know, some weird barber chairs with like a lot of metal on the side, so we were just taking another metal piece and hit the chair and stuff like that. And then there was like a metal door which made some really weird noises when you close it, and we were just like open and close it for like, I don't know, 5-6 times. But in the end, I mean, I know that I will record it and eventually use it later in a production of mine, but that's for me the nice thing about field recordings is you just go out and you like a sound, but it doesn't mean that you ever use it, but still you have the beauty of this moment when you just have this excitement and you be there, like you record it and you have this idea of, oh, maybe I'm gonna take this into a sound, but also maybe not, which is also beautiful, but because still you had a good moment with yourself, you know. So that's, I think, the intention behind it, just having fun. If I use it or not is another thing, but it's just like, I don't know, just about fun. Yeah.
Okay, have you used your recorder for that? Or
no,
just
that,
iPhone?
No, that was just the iPhone. Like all the sounds in here, which we used for today, it's all coming from the iPhone.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Another question. What would be the flow of your production? Let's imagine that you bought yourself a new microphone, not recorder, just microphone. Because this is my pain. I bought myself a microphone, and now I'm struggling with the inspiration to record something for a production. And what would be the flow of yours? You have a microphone. What would you start from? From recording some samples for your track, future track, or maybe you would produce some other parts first, and then get back to the samples. And what would you record? Your voice? I don't know, other kind of sounds. Sorry for it took too long.
No, all good. I mean, so just to understand it, so you have now a microphone. So you was trying it out first with the phone, and then you thought, okay, it would be nice to have a proper microphone. And now you have the microphone, and now you're like, okay, fuck, what should I do with the microphone or what?
Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I just thought that it's cool to have a microphone.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally understand it because, when you start with that and then you have the feeling of like, okay, now I want to take it to the next level and actually buy myself a nice microphone because then also my field recordings will get better. And then you have the microphone and then you have this kind of pressure of like, okay, now I have this thing here and it's staring at me and it wants to be taken out, and then you're out and then you have like, okay, now you force yourself to like record something instead of just having this phone with you, and then you feel like spontaneously in the moment. I think I can see myself having the same situation. Yeah, don't take me wrong. I had this like a million times already in my life that I thought, oh, this is what I need, and then I have it, and I'm like, yeah, what I'm actually doing with that. So I think how I would do it is, for example, this microphone I always have with me. So because if I want to record something, then I will use for sure this one instead of the one from the phone. But still, I don't have this pressure of going out and now I have to record something because I bought this microphone. I think the problem is not that you don't know what you want to record. I think it's more that I think you need to bring, or I would bring some more spontaneous moments than in recording that, and then coming to the point which I explained before is also that only because you record something, it doesn't mean that you have to use it, I have some recordings flying around from years ago and I never used them until now. But maybe there comes the moment in the future where I will do a different kind of style of music and then the recordings are fitting into what I want to do. But basically, I think just do it out of fun, don't have too much thinking process already before you be creative, because thinking before being creative most of the time will kill your creativity. Because then you have too much pressure and too much in here going on instead of going here on here, and then you will like out of this you will come into a routine, and the routine will lead to like kind of a frustration because you think like, okay, nothing is working anymore, I'm not creative anymore, but it's just because you do too much here and not here, I think, and that's the flow how I would do it. Is it like answering the question? Not really, right?
Kind of. I don't have recorder. I have just a microphone which I use.
In the studio.
It's kind of studio microphone. Yeah. So you're just
okay.
Yeah. You just stick to the place, and you have that microphone, and you gotta do something with it. And yeah. So I wonder what to do with it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. That's a completely different question. Nice. Well, I don't know actually, because I also have a microphone in the studio, but I never use it. I hope that brings some motivation to you. No, I don't know. I mean, till now I'm not really working with like singer person artists together, so that's why I don't really have the need of using this microphone in my studio. And as I said, the tracks which I did with vocals in the past was I recorded it with my iPhone, you know, because I don't know, like maybe just, you know, if you want to bring some life to it, really just sit there and record whatever is there. Maybe, you know, just do this, or just do weird noises with your vocal or with your voice.
Would that be your starting point?
Yeah, I think so. If I have this microphone there and I'm like, okay, I have to do something now with that because it's already dusty and everything, I would just be like, you know, record, I don't know, just this, and whatever is flying around you, you know, you can bring everything into, you can record a fart sound, you know, and then use your fart sound as a base of doing something with that, you know.
Pretty creational.
I mean, just to say that you can really, like, you can do everything, you know. You can record the like little sounds from your mouth, you know, like this kind of thing, and then start with that, you know. And I think this is how I would do it, you know. And then afterwards, I will have the answer if I really need the microphone or not.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Eventually sell it.
But I mean, if it also depends on, do you want to work together with like vocalists or singers, you know, and then I think it's nice to have a microphone in your studio. Right. Just try to find a use of it, you know.
Yeah, I think spontaneity
is
the key.
That's
here.
the key, for sure, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure, you're welcome.
Yeah, hi again. Thank you for your input, Christoph. I have several questions. First is, did you ever stuck in a 4-bar loop? Like, and what do you do? What is your approaches to not stuck in the production, not stuck in arrangement, and to finish tracks? And do you actually have a lot of lost demo projects on your computer?
A lot. Like, I think 80% of my projects on the laptop are lost projects. And it's like, yeah, it happens a lot, definitely, that, you know, you just work on a loop, and there is some kind of vibe and idea in there, but still something holds you back from bringing it to the next step. And I think the best is to just start a new project. This is really the best.
Every 5 minutes.
No, not 5 minutes, but I don't remember which artist it was, but I don't know. I remember that I was watching an interview of an artist, and the artist is saying that if you have like 30 minutes, or if the artist who said this has 30 minutes, nothing happening in the studio, in the project, then he just leave it behind. I mean, not deleting it, but just open something else. Because, I mean, you should set your time for you. For example, I'm quite slow in producing, usually when I'm alone in the studio, so I'm very slow. The beginning of every track is just like having a big chaos in there, and then just erasing what is too chaotic. And I think if you really understand, okay, for 1 hour I'm just sitting here and just, for example, I always have on my number 1 here on the keyboard of my laptop, I have a filter on the master, which brings me, wait, I'm gonna show you just super quickly. 1 sec. Which cuts off the low frequencies, and then I'm mapping it to my number 1 on my keyboard, and basically what I'm doing then for way too long is always this. I'm sitting there with no bass, and then I'm like and this
Yeah, there's some elements of life
and this is like
give you inspiration.
like
right?
DJing, you know, it's like playing the track already, because this sometimes brings some ideas to my head, but also sometimes not. And then, and then you really have to be honest to yourself and be like, okay, you will not bring this project anywhere, so I think it's better to start a new one, or also sometimes just go home, you know, like if you don't have to force yourself to be in the studio and be creative. Sometimes you wake up with the feeling of like, oh yeah, today I'm gonna make a hit. And then you go to the studio, work for 4, 5, 6 hours, having like a 909 drum loop going on with one step, like melody step or whatever. And then you sit there and then you just have to face it. Just go home. You know, like if you don't have the mood, then you don't have the mood. And I think it's totally okay, you know, because nobody forces you to make music. And I think you should definitely respect your soul and your musician being of also accepting this.
Thank you. My last question is, if you're, imagine you're stuck in Abundant Island and you have the MP3 player with only one track. What track is gonna be there? You can like take your time to think.
Daso Minor. The artist name is Daso.
Dazzle?
The D-A-S-O.
Okay.
And the track name is M-E-I-N-E. Meine.
Meinen?
Meine. Yeah.
Meinen.
Meine. Without,
meine.
without N.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I will listen.
Yeah, it's a super nice track.
Thanks.
All right.
Who have the question else? Nothing? Ніхто більше не має питань? I think that's all.
I think that's all. Thank you, guys, for staying so long with me. Thank you. Дякую. Okay.